Hey, what's going on, everybody? JC Everyday Thoughts. What I'm going to talk about today is child support. Basically, what I wanted to say is I'm not really a big fan of child support. I feel like both adults should be able to work out the issues and raise their children without the court's involvement. But however, there has to be a mediator that separates the two, like a judge or supervisor. You have to have somebody in place to make sure that the money is being dispensed properly. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Yeah, everybody gather around. Uh, you know, I feel like as men, we got to do a better job protecting our seed and quit trying to just sleep around with different women if we don't plan on marrying them. We don't plan on seeing a future with them, and complain about a child being resulted of it, and they want to complain about a child being child support. I feel like, and then goes for women too. You can't be allowing men to nut raw into you or sleep around, and then bam, you're pregnant. You gotta do a better job protecting your womb as well. Not everybody need to be having access to your body. That's the one thing we gotta do better as a collective. Men and women. You know, and then as far as men, we don't need to keep trying to sleep around with every woman. You know, have self respect for yourself. You know, that's the one thing we got to do better too. It's just having self respect. You know, but for me, child support is you should just be comfortable just sending her a check. You should be able to help with your child, be into the house, be into your schools, learning, your education, um, uplift them mentally, spiritually, and elevate them to another light level. Don't just be complacent doing the bare minimum. Like I've said before, don't be comfortable doing the bare minimum. As men, we should be able to go up and beyond. It's not just being okay with being with 70%, just getting by. You want your kids to do the best they can be and to elevate themselves. And I feel like as men we can do a lot better in that area, you know. And then also as far as women too, you can't really complain. This guy's a deadbeat, and he's not. He ain't about nothing. And you barely knew the guy. You just met that man that one night, and he let this man decide you. That's poor decision making on your part too. Because you didn't evaluate this man either. You didn't make sure he could be your head. He's a leader. He had good decision making. Poor judgment on your part too. You have to be accountable too. Take care of the child too. And I want to hear about what my baby daddy did. I don't want to hear all that because trust me, you didn't get time to know this man. He don't know your father. He don't know your family. You haven't vetted this man, but yet you got a child by this man. Come on now, you gotta do better. You gotta do better, blank. I don't exclude anybody. Hey, what's going on, Dad? What's good with you, bro? What's good with you, Dad? But yeah, though, you know, like I said, it's all about accountability on both ends. Men, already know we meet this woman. You just want to have sex with her. Just be honest with your intentions. No need to be lying or being deceitful to her. Just let her know, look, I'm not looking for nothing serious. I'm just looking for a good time. And also, too, that good time, even if you do protect yourself, could end up with a baby. And that's one thing you gotta realize as well, too. Just because you do protect yourself doesn't mean that you're child free. You gotta make sure you gotta make sure that you gotta make sure that you're having sex with women that you see you plan on having a future with, not just laying up with any woman. There are diseases out here. You can catch anything. So just be careful and be cautious of who you sleep with. The same thing, and the same thing with the women as far as getting DNA testing. With random men. 5, 6 men having a test. That's unacceptable because, like I said, you need a man that's going to be leadership quality. You're testing different men. That shows poor judgment, poor character on your behalf. But yeah, though, I'm gonna try to invite my brother on, Mario. Yeah, I'm about to invite him on right now. So yeah, just 1 second, 1 second. I got my brother Mario. He want to join me real quick. Let's see what he got to say about child support and stuff like that. You know, brother, you there? Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, morning.
What's the business, bro? How you doing, man?
What's good, brother? Yeah, shit. I finally got a new phone, man. How you doing, man?
First of all, congratulations for the upgrade, brother. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. About time. But yeah, no. What's your thoughts about child support?
Child support. Um, First of all, let's get the obvious elephant in the room out the way. Child support is needed if both parents can't co-parent. If both parents can't be in that child's life and work together and communicate and do what they need to do, child support is definitely necessary. State enforced child support is definitely mandatory. However, if the child support is used to hinder the non-custodial parent, just because you got a new girlfriend, just because you got a new boyfriend, just because you don't give me the attention that I want, or whatever it is that's not for the support of the child, but basically for the support of your ego, then that should be rectified, you know what I'm saying, through hopefully with the mediator, or hopefully the two parents involved can rectify that, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel you though. I feel you though. You know, like I said, there need to be a mediator after two people cannot be adults and take and co-parent. You know, but I don't feel like you should just like put a man on child support or a woman on child support just because the breakup is bad. You know, and just because breakup is bad, you don't need to put nobody on child support. If he's doing his diligence, he's going to work, fighting for the kid, need to put some of the bitterness alone. You know, as a woman. And as a man, you see her with a new dude.
So
You
so I
know, no, what were you saying?
Mhm. No, go ahead, finish your statement, finish your statement.
Oh no, I was just saying, just to put some of the bitterness, just because you see him with a new woman. You know, you don't have to put him in on child support because of all that. If he's doing diligent, you know, picking up the kids, uh, making sure that it's straight. I mean, I don't think you should put him in on child support. What do you got to say about that?
um well, you know what I'm saying, it's crazy because I found myself in a unique situation where I put myself on child support, because at the time, me and my daughter's mother, we wasn't getting along, and I felt like the best way to make sure that my daughter got the financial support, making sure that I had a record of that financial support, was to get the state involved. So I put myself on child support, but in agreement with her mother to say, "Hey, I'm gonna pay this much a month." However, you got your special holidays or special events, or special time that you have with your kids that you want to spend extra money. I would tell you that if you guys get put on child support, or before the child support is approved, remember that whatever you give that mother for support, those are gifts. Those are gifts, and it does not count as child support unless it's
Hmm.
clearly outlined that this is child support. So anything that's given in reference to um, financial value, in reference to money, those are considered gifts, and it does not count toward your child support. So whatever money that, while you're trying to work out child support, whatever money you give that mother, make sure it is annotated or notated that this is child support. This is for the support of my child, or whatever case may be. But back to the topic, should we have child support? Um, I believe child support is used to manipulate the non-custodial parent. I think a big reason for child support is used to get back at the non-custodial parent, based on some type of faulty or nasty breakup. Because I think that responsible adults, they know that they can take care of their child without getting the state involved. You got to think, you have people that, one, they don't care about your children, they don't know you, and you go to them and say, "Oh, we need help. We need you to figure out who need to pay what," or whatever case may be. And a lot of times, the attitude that goes in there is, "Oh, this person doesn't do X, Y, and Z." Well, here's the thing. I don't think that anybody that works a job should get 70% of their pay going towards you. And then you take that money and you say, okay, well, I'm gonna go get my hair done, nails done, everything done. I'm gonna take trips. I'm gonna go buy a new car. You know, I'm gonna go do these things, and it's not directly in support of that child. So I just wish it was a better way to monitor the child support. Because once you give that money, no one keeps up the dollar value in reference to what's spent. But I know what the counter is gonna be to that. But I'm gonna let you say something, brother.
No, no, like I said, you was right about that. You were right about that. You know, you should know where your money's going, and you know, it shouldn't really go for hair, shouldn't go for your nails and stuff like that, but it should go for the child. That's why I come down to evaluate. You know, you have to evaluate these women. I mean, you have to evaluate the man,
Mm-hmm.
evaluate people, just like you're on a job interview. You know, you can't just be sleeping with this one, that one, and then the child comes and you now all of a sudden now you're figuring out her true colors or his true colors. You know, you gotta figure stuff out in the beginning. You got a sound foundation. You know, I've been with this person 2 years, and I'm ready for a child. You know, like you know, it can't like
Right.
I'm not just gonna bring it any. I'm not just gonna have any woman just have my seed. You know, just for a good time. And I know I gotta deal with the repercussions of it. You know.
You know what, man? Here's the you know what I'm saying, the bottom line up front. You know what I mean? We as adults, we do things and we don't think all the time. You know, we don't think all the time. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
from that moment of not thinking all the time, we a child comes out the situation. Okay, we grown, we got a kid now. However, we have a responsibility not only to ourselves as adults, but we have a responsibility to that child. And with that being said, we should be able to come up with a suitable agreement. The thing about it is it's hard to co-parent when the other person is counter-parenting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's
I
it's
feel you.
hard to say, okay, well, hey, I'm going to take the child to school. I'm gonna take the child to get the haircut. I'm gonna do this. But the other person don't want to make the child available to you. So you got to understand, and this is for men and women, because non-custodial parents can be men and women. So this is not oh, well, we just talking about women. However,
Hey, Kim.
in most cases, especially in the Black community, in the African American community, the non-custodial parent is the father. Look it up. Look it up. The non-custodial parent is mostly the father. So when we talk about these things, we're not just talking about women, we're talking about everybody. But the thing about it is you have to be adult enough to co-parent. You have to be adult. But you know who I blame most of all? Not the custodial parent and not the non-custodial parent. It's the people around them. The people around them. Because most of the time when somebody's doing something manipulative, disrespectful, vindictive, you know who's around them? Family and friends.
Yeah.
You know who knows that they're doing that nasty stuff, keeping that child away or doing something with that child that's gonna mess that child up in reference to mental abuse? Their family and friends. Their family and friends is not saying you're wrong. You're wrong for posting what you're posting. You're wrong for saying what you're saying. You're wrong for going to that man's job or going to that woman's job. If we have positive people around us, they will help mitigate a lot of stuff that you don't have to go to court for. Talk to me, brother.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to have people in your corner that's going to support you, that's going to tell you when you're wrong, you're messing up, and also encourage you to do well. If you don't have a good foundation of people around you, you really don't need them. You know, and besides, you should that should be within yourself to try to do better as far as your child. I want my child to be best. You know, regardless of relationship with whoever she's with, I'm making sure my child is straight. I'm making sure I'm doing my part as a man. Whatever she's doing with the money, I don't agree with. But at the end of the day, I'm to do what's best for my child and make sure he or she's doing right. You know, regardless if she's messed up. At the end of the day, I have to own up to that. I slept with her. I gave her my seed, my legacy, and I have to make sure I do for the kid. You know, your relationship with your son or daughter it should be the same with the child's mother. You know, y'all should be able to create a co-parent whether you're with someone or she's with somebody, and the child should not be affected whatsoever.
Are we gonna talk real or no? Because I kind of feel like I need to say something real quick. Ladies, let me tell you
Okay,
something.
come
Okay,
on.
let me tell you
Come on.
something. You can think whatever you want to. It's your prerogative, right? Your opinion, because it's free. However, if the female if the custodial parent is being difficult, I don't care how good that man is. I don't care how positive he is. I don't care how God-fearing he is. I don't care what his status is in the community. The fact of the matter is, if that woman makes it difficult for that man to be a co-parent, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. And it takes good people around the around the custodial parent to help mitigate that, to say you are wrong. The problem is that a lot of women don't call that other woman out. They don't call that other woman out. Let me be the bearer of bad news. A lot of men, when they're not taking care of their kids, and you know, as a friend, you know, as a brother, you know, as a pastor, you know, as a policeman, you don't call that man out when he doesn't go to see his kid. You don't call him out. And when I mean call him out, I'm not saying get on a Facebook Live. I'm saying call that person up or go see that person face to face and say, hey, listen, this is the issue. The issue is that there's a child that needs support. You are the responsible adult, responsible for co-parenting for that child. However, you make it difficult when you counter-parent. If you're counter-parenting, okay, what happens is that person gets frustrated. If you've never been in that situation, then shut your ass up because you don't know. You get tired of saying, hey, can I come pick up my kid? Hey, can I come see my kid? Hey, I sent you money or whatever, but that person takes the money and go do something else with it. After a while, that gets frustrating. So now you're in the courts, you're battling, you're trying to say, hey, look, I just want to see my kid, yada, 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 yada. When you don't have a person that's willing to co-parent, the first question is, okay, well, who's around that other parent to help tell them you're wrong? We don't call people out when they're not doing what they're supposed to do. But what we do is we quickly call out the fathers and say, you're deadbeat dads. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
I mean, I do. Yeah, I agree with that. But like I said, you need to hold receipts. You know, whatever you're doing, hold receipts. It shouldn't even be like that as far as being petty. But legally, just hold receipts. Whatever you're doing, make sure the child know you're being involved and they're being attended to and being loved for, being cared for. You know, it shouldn't get to the point where they're not allowing you to see the kids and it's hissy fit trying to visit and trying to send money or it's not, you know, everything to be nice smooth. That goes back to evaluating who you're talking to. You know, a lot of the red flags you probably seen or you didn't see because you didn't take the
Mhm.
time to get to know her or know him. You know, because I think a lot of women are dying for their child father to be in their child's life, but for whatever reason he don't want to be there. He don't want to be a part. So you know what is she supposed to do? You know,
So
and then
here's the thing, man. You know what I'm
oh,
saying?
okay, go on.
You go ahead, go ahead. Oh, my bad. Go ahead. My
Oh
bad.
no,
I got
and
kind of
then
a
also
delay on
too.
here. I thought you were finished.
Oh no, then also too and then you also want to get upset if a new man come in like a Russell Wilson type guy and play stepdaddy to
Hmm.
your child, and now you want to get angry at him for doing your job. Like, how can you get upset for another man taking care of your responsibility, and you don't want to take part? You know, how can you really be upset? You know,
That's a great point. Let me give you a perfect example. Again, when you go through something, it helps you mature. It helps you get confident in your ability to be able to adapt and accept situations. My youngest daughter, mother remarried, phenomenal guy. He ain't me, you know what I mean? But he's a phenomenal guy in reference to being there, supporting my daughter, supporting his wife, taking care of my daughter. So shouts out to everybody that is not with the other parent, but co-parenting, and the other parent has now a boyfriend, and they're assisting with the child. That is a phenomenal thing if you get into that situation. If you find somebody that's willing to take up the mantle and say, hey, if your child falls, I'm gonna be there. If your child needs me to pick them up from school, I'm gonna be there. If your child gets sick, I'm gonna be there. That is a phenomenal thing. So shout out to everybody, the men and women that's strong enough to play, not play, be stepdad and stepmom. So that, first of all, let's get that out the way. But back to the child support thing. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, if you sleep with them, then there is a responsibility, whatever happens from that situation. And if the responsibility results in a child, then what you all need to do is you need to understand that you got to sit down and communicate and find out what's the best option for that child. What's the best option for the child? Oh my God, oh my God, here we go. It might not be the best option for that child to stay with the mother.
Yeah.
You met her in the club. She freak nasty. Freak nasty. She freak nasty. She ain't ready for no kid. The father in most cases may be the most mature adult in the situation. So the child should go with him. So when you go through the child support thing, the first thing they do is what? Oh, well, it's going to take an act of God to put the child with you. So we're going to put the child with the mother. Well, the mother don't really want, she's not ready for parenthood. She's not ready to actually be mature enough to take care of that. So what she want to do is be back in the club. So guess where your child at? With the grandparents, right? With a cousin, with a girlfriend. Yeah. So you're not really being a mother to that. Oh, stay with me. Y'all don't log off now, goddammit. Don't log off now. What I'm telling you is if put the child with the best parent possible. Put the child with the best, because in most cases, if the child is with the father, 9 times out of 10, he probably won't ask for child support. You do your part. Talk to me, bro. Talk to me.
Yeah, you're right about that. A lot of guys, they don't have the kind of pride or ego to reach out to the baby mother after child support. A lot of times they'll take care of it, handle the situation, and not really complain about child support or needing support for the child. Because I feel like it's more of an ego as a pride thing. For a lot of men to not try to ask their baby mother for money. So what else you got to say?
Wouldn't that change up the dynamic though? Ladies, wouldn't that change up the dynamic though? Think about it. Think about if I went live and said, you know what, I have my child and the mother, she won't pay child support. How many people would say, let's break down some things because we're going to have a deep conversation. I'm going to need y'all to share this real quick because my brother got me on his platform. So we need to get this out there real quick. How many people right now would say, okay, the man has the child. He's a custodial parent. How many people would feel if I went live and say, well, the woman or the non-custodial parent don't want to support the child? She ain't paying child support. How many women would call her out? Or how many women would say, you a man, that's what you're supposed to do? See, the thing about it is when it comes to taking care of children, we do not say, I'll hold you responsible as an adult. It's always men versus women. Shut up. It's always men versus women instead of saying there are adults involved. Okay, first of all, who's the most responsible adult? Let's look at this. Just because you're a woman doesn't give you a leg up. Just because you're a man doesn't give you a leg up. Who is the most responsible adult? You can look at that by their actions. And social media makes it real easy to look at people's actions. If the dad's always in the club, he may not be ready for that responsibility. If the mom's always in the club, she may not be ready for that responsibility. A lot of people think just because you are able to reproduce, stay with me, because I'm able to have sex as a man and help reproduce, because I'm able to have sex as a woman and I'm able to reproduce, that automatically makes me a parent. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Some people don't have the concept on how to be a parent. So you got kids raising kids. That's another conversation. However, here's the thing. Are you adult enough to raise your kid? Stop making it men versus women. Men don't do this. Women don't do this. Are you adult enough to have the conversation to support that kid? And if you're not, then that's where your mama, your daddy, your grandmother, your grandfather, a pastor, somebody that's positive enough to say, sit your ass down and take care of your responsibility. Talk to me. Talk to me, bro.
Yeah, brother. You're right about that. You're right about that. I mean, I feel like as humans, as adults, men and women, if you're not ready for kids, you shouldn't be having kids. And it's not fair to put them on your parents, put them on your grandparents, put it on a friend while you go out into the club every day, or you're in school every day, or you just want to go out to the club and just have fun. Like I said, nothing wrong with having fun, but it's all about being responsible and not just allowing anybody to babysit your kids, because there are situations out here where kids are getting raped and killed, and it's just false. It's just bad parenting by just allowing random people to babysit your kids.
You make a good point, brother. Check this out. I was thinking the other day I was having a heated debate, and what I proposed was, suppose we made it so that way you couldn't have kids until after you're the age of 21. Like we made it illegal to have kids. And somebody, whoa, you can't take away somebody's right to have children. I hear what you're saying. I appreciate you sharing. Thank you. Listen, I hear what you're saying, but suppose we set it up so that way, some type of positive way, that you couldn't have kids until you're 21 years old. Can you imagine how much planning and common sense would go into that? Because now you would have time to at least complete high school, at least have a chance of saying, you know what, I can start college and I can focus on, I don't have to focus on my little one. You have a chance now. So at least, see, the thing about it is, I don't know why it's so acceptable for kids to be born to children, to be born to people who just made 12 and 13. That's not cool. But for some type of way, our society, we make it cool. I just seen something yesterday on YouTube where this young girl, 13 years old, was having a baby shower. And other 13-year-old girls was like rubbing her stomach like that was cool. Now, I'm not saying to shame that girl. I'm just saying at some point in time, we got to consider as adults what's not cool and what's not acceptable. But we make it cool and we make it acceptable by, one, not talking about it, the hard conversation, and then two, not telling our kids or the people around us, hey, if you're young, use protection. You do not want to be in this situation. Talk to me, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. It's all about your foundation. Your parents need to be telling you. The teachers need to be telling you, and also too, you gotta have self control and self discipline to not go out here and just try to have sex, especially you're underage. That's unacceptable because your mindset is still development. And what do you look like being 16 and already have a child? That doesn't really make too much sense to me. I feel like you should be 20, 21, 25, or whenever your mindset is ready for that lifestyle. That's a huge decision you're making, and we shouldn't really be glorifying it at 16 with having shows like Teen Mom. Why are we glorifying that type of behavior? That's unacceptable. Having kids
Yeah.
don't know anything raising kids. That's unacceptable. Like I said, having your parents and grandparents, friends take care of the child, take care of you and the child. Like, no, you want to be able to be
Definitely.
established, have your stuff
Definitely.
together, and be ready to have kids.
I love what you just said. I'm going to say something, but I want somebody, it's 10 people watching. I need y'all to share real quick. This is the type of conversation that when grown men are speaking and they're talking about it, it's not bashing women, it's not bashing men, but it's talking about the togetherness and what should be happening. We need to have this conversation. Please share, share, share. With that being said, it's like this, ladies and gentlemen. What happens when we start being adults? What happens when we, as a collective, men and women, start being adults? We stop saying, well, it's the man's fault, it's the woman's fault, but it's these adults' fault. You see what I'm saying? If we hold adults responsible, then that means we can have these conversations. We can say it's not cool for this young kid to have a child. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Think about completing high school and not having to take care of a baby. Think about completing college and not having to take care of a baby. I know what the counter is to this. The counter is, how can you say 21 years old, 21-year-old person is smart enough, is groomed enough, mature enough to take care of a child? No, that's not what I said. What I said was, at least give that child a chance to live their life, to travel. I want to go to Paris. I want to go to Germany. I want to do something. Hey, I want to join the army. I want to start my career. Give that child a chance to be a childhood. Because when you're in a childhood trying to raise a child, that's not a damn childhood. That's not a childhood. And then here's the thing. Now the grandma is 31. Where the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Now your grandma 31, the mama 17. I mean, come on, y'all. Come on. Grandma want to live her life too. You see what I'm saying? We going out here and we making these children and we don't have the mental capacity to raise these kids. A lot of people said this, and I hope y'all agree, it takes a village. But when everybody in the house is young, everybody in the house is still in their partying phase, who raising a kid? The kid is watching you go out every other night. The kid is watching you revolve, bringing people as a revolving door. Different men, different women. Talk to women any type of way. Talk to men any type of way. Be bitter, be vindictive. So who's really the mature? Where do you get that mature phase from? Oh, I guess going to church on that one time on Sunday for 15, 30 minutes of sermon is going to make you mature. No, it's not. No, it's not. Come on, bro. Talk to me, bro.
Yeah, like I said before, I mean, you should try to get yourself established first, have your own house, own car, business, and some kind of career. You need to have something established. I mean, you still under your parents' roof, trying to bring kids on. That's unacceptable. I feel like just have something for your own self, and when you bring someone else in, y'all can join together and then raise a family together. But I mean, I feel like as men, as just having kids this young, and not really telling men to protect their seed and protect themselves, and try to raw dog these women. That's not good. And then also allowing women to just not take her treasure and make sure it's worth the value.
No
Everybody don't
doubt.
need to go
No doubt.
inside.
I would say, what you just said, man, I would paraphrase and only say this. I would say that men and women, protect yourself. Ladies, you have a responsibility to your vagina that the guy that you're laying down with, first of all, does he even like your ass? Does he even like you? You have a situation where you find out, like, once you get to know a person, like, I really even like you. I don't like the way you chew. Like, I don't like how you smell, really. Like, once the alcohol wear off, it's like, I don't really like you. God forbid if we ever have a kid. So here's the thing. All I'm saying is try to find a moment of clarity. Try to find a moment of clarity. I know if you out, you having a good time, and sometimes things happen and it leads to this. But if you can find a moment of clarity, then that will save you a plethora of issues. If you can find a moment of clarity and say, do I even like you? Do you have conversation? Do you have ambition? Do you have any type of drive to do anything other than stay on your block? You see what I'm saying? Can you have a conversation without sounding like the latest reality TV show? So here's the thing. We have individual responsibility. This is not Derek Jari. We have responsibility for ourselves. So as women, you have a responsibility who you sleep with. Men, you have a responsibility who you sleep with. But if you all decide to do something together, then equal responsibility falls on those two adults. And us as the public, we need to stop applauding people when they go live. And it's like, I'm going to talk about my baby daddy. I'm going to talk about my baby mama. Get off of Facebook, call that man, call that woman, and work that shit out. I'm not supporting that.
Oh wow, really? You gonna put the man
That's just how
business
I
out
feel,
there
bro.
like that? Wow, you gonna put the man business out there like that?
I'm
Nah,
speaking. Look, I'm speaking in general, but this shit is hitting home for somebody. Somebody gonna be like, "Damn, you talking about me, bro? You talking about me, bro?"
yeah, I feel you though. Like I said, you should know. Like I said, you need to do better and show them examples of just show them not to be trying to be promiscuous with men and women, and then also for men, we're not trying to marry this woman. Why am I trying to impregnate her? It doesn't make sense, does it? She's not gonna be my
See,
wife. She good enough for she good. You said what now? She good
no,
enough for
go
me to
ahead, go
have
ahead,
a child. She
go
good.
ahead.
She good enough for me to have a child with, but she don't have. I don't want her to have my last name. I don't want to give her a ring. Like, that don't make too much sense to me. What you about to say?
So what I was gonna say is that I think we should rewind a little bit because I love to have that heated discussion or whatever case be. If y'all don't know who it is, I should know who it is. It's Mr. KTU 101. However, here's the thing. I don't think men are intentionally trying to go out and say, let me make these babies. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people, when they start talking about, oh, well, the men are going out here and just sleeping with anybody. He just pulling out his pecker and put skeet, 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 right? I don't think that's the case. I think that this man or those men have an ability to attract certain types of women. Okay. Now, I'm not saying these are bad women. I'm not saying that, none of that. I'm saying that he has an ability to attract women. So, with that being said, women find him attractive. So, getting sex is not hard for him. Same thing goes for the females. She attracts men. So, getting sex is not hard for him. What I'm saying is that there is a responsibility. So, we start preaching in our community, okay, use protection. Okay, get some type of birth control. Okay, it's not cool to have kids at an early age. Okay, big brother. Okay, auntie. Okay, grandma. Okay, grandma. If we start talking and putting that into the cycle of rotation for conversation, but what do we talk about nowadays? What's more important for us? See, we gonna get more. If we was on here right now bashing women, it'd be 100 women sharing this, so other women can chime in and say, look at these bastards. Look at these bastards talking shit about women. However, now we're talking about saying, had a hard conversation in reference to child support, because one, if it's needed, then do what you got to do, parents. Do what you got to do, adults. If it's not, and you're using it as a weapon, you're weaponizing child support. You're weaponizing it. I'm going to use this to take away from the other parent. Why? Now, granted, this is no argument, no debate. And if you want to debate, feel free to inbox me, goddammit, we can get it in. I understand that as a custodial parent, you are there, the alpha and omega when it comes to that child. That means when that child is sick, when that child is hungry, when that child needs to put on his clothes or her clothes, when that child goes to school, when that child watches TV program, when that child's everyday development depends on you. And I got it, because you're there. So therefore, that money, whatever circulates around that child, whether it's going towards the electric bill, going towards the haircut, I got it. You spend the money for that. The issue is that some people, because they don't want to work with the other parent, they take that money and they deliberately do things. You getting your hair done does not put food inside my daughter's mouth. You going on a cruise does not put clothes on my son's back. There is a difference. And the problem is that we as people, because we're so emotional, right? We like to say as men, we're factual, but when it comes to our children, we're emotional. So with that being said, we have to understand that when you have a man or a woman that is a non-custodial parent, and that parent is taking that money and it's visibly being seen, why is my son's hair not cut? Why is my daughter hungry? But you out here posting Jordans, you out here buying rims, you out here going to the club. You can't tell me as a non-custodial parent you don't have the right to raise hell. It's out the window. So if we're going to have as the public have something to say, make sure you get both sides of the goddamn story, because it's worth it. It's worth it. And give some feedback that's going to impact the support of that child and not help to mitigate in reference to the support for that child. That means encouraging bullshit. I'm not going to encourage you, ma'am, to go against that dad. I'm not going to, sir, to go against that dad. I'm going to encourage you to get off of Facebook, to get out the clubs, to stop running around trying to sabotage one another and build each other, because that child is depending on it. Talk to me, brother. Talk to me.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have to be able to feed your children positive things, and they need to see positive images. And you gotta just do a better job as far as what you're exposing your kids to. Exposing them to a good, healthy, stable relationship. Even if you're all not together, we wanna provide, we wanna show healthy unity. We may have our disagreements, but when we're around you, we're gonna make sure that you don't see the dysfunction. A lot of that stuff, a child don't need to be seeing. You don't need to see dysfunction like that.
Uh-oh.
You and your child's
Uh-oh.
mother, you and your child's mother. We may argue, but when it comes to our kids, they come first, and they're gonna make sure that they're provided, they're protected, and we love them both dearly. And that's the fact about relationship, is that just because we don't work out, it has no effect over our children and what we're going to do and our vision for our children. Whoever whoever I may be with, whoever you may be with, that has nothing to do with our relationship with our kids, and we just have to learn how to co-parent and coexist with one another because this is our accomplishment that we created together. And regardless of who come in and out of our circle, this is what we have together to build and hatch.
I would say this for anybody that's listening. I'm still asking y'all to share. I'm still asking y'all to share because um I see a lot of my brothers and sisters that saying basically, it's about child support education. This is child support education right here. This is adults having a conversation where other adults can chime in. So now it's a group collective conversation about one particular topic. And right now, when you talk about child support, men, do not be a victim of child support. Yes, I said it. Do not be victimized by child support. If you got to go get a lawyer, whatever you need to do to speak up, because a lot of men, let's do this. A lot of men and non-custodial parents, however you want to pull it, they suffer in silence. They suffer in silence. How many men have committed suicide? How many non-custodial parents have committed suicide because they can't see their kids? Have drunk themselves to death, have started to use drugs, have started to have reckless behavior. See, this is way deeper than just, oh, well, it's way deeper than that. And then let's flip it. How many women have committed suicide, turned to drugs, turned to reckless behavior? We have to be cognizant of what we're supporting. So when someone starts saying deadbeat, wait a minute, motherfucker, wait a minute, hold on. Is that person a deadbeat, or should we examine what's actually going on? We need both sides of the story. We only got one side. We got your side, and in the middle, somewhere is the truth. So if you're going to be easy enough to be pulled into a situation to listen to a side of the story, be smart enough to get the other two sides. So that way you can support the child. Because now it's not about you adults. I don't care about you adults. I care about the child that's in the middle of that. Because guess what? That child, some type of way, because karma is a mother, some type of way that child is going to meet my child. Yeah. So I'm trying to make sure that child ain't messed up in the head, so that child don't walk into a school and shoot up the school while my child in it, because y'all doing some effed up stuff. See how that works? You see how that karma works? I'm trying to make sure that child don't shoot up a post office or shoot up a bank or whatever the case may be, because he never learned parenting skills. He never learned communication skills. She never learned how to be herself. So now she's repeating the cycle of sleeping with a lot of men. So now she got a child. It's deeper than it's just deeper. It's deeper than a like on Facebook. It's deeper than saying, girl, you talk about it. It's deeper than saying, hey, bro, don't worry about it. We have to be proactive with our support. We have to be realistic with our support. We have to be functional with our support, not just be there for another petty or vindictive rant. Talk to me, bro.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, your agenda should be as far as first maintaining balance as far as your kids, making sure that they're safe, regardless of the situation with you and your spouse. Um, like I said, y'all may not get along, but do what you gotta do for your children, and don't allow bitterness or arguments to deteriorate your responsibility as a man or a woman. Because there's too many kids out here fatherless homes and neglectful mothers, and the children, they don't need that. They don't need that. They don't need to see that. They don't need to experience all that. I don't. I want to see healthy, growing children that's ready to battle, to fight, and to see us and to lead us after the next generation. When we get older, they're here to help us when we get old. So we got to make sure we're giving them good nutrients and good fruit to grow from.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's about being role models. It's really, at the end of the day, it's about being role models. With my children, I would never put them around people that I wouldn't consider them to be role models. That means we could be associates. Hell, we might even be friends. That don't mean I'm gonna bring my kids around you, because you don't display characteristics that I want my kids to see. So we have to make that decision. Everybody's not cool. My daughters is not gonna be sitting on your lap, sir. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna influence my daughters, ma'am. Every song that come on and you start twerking in front of my daughter, or you start just talking reckless and crazy in front of my kid, not gonna happen. So when you have parents that promote that on both sides, guess what happens with that kid, that boy or that girl? You develop a foundation that encourages structure, positive structure. It's different. Those kids start to know themselves. They start to develop leadership skills. They just start to develop common sense and rationale, and they are able to maneuver through life. So when they're dealing with a bully, 9 times out of 10, they probably don't even tell you about it, because they say, you know what, my mama told me not to fight in school, but I'm gonna bust your ass after school. I'm gonna beat your ass after school, and I'm gonna go and tell my mama what I did. They can develop that rationale. They say, I know how to deal with a bully. I know how to deal with peer pressure. I know how to deal with when it comes to sex, because we're taking the time to have that conversation. But you can't have that conversation if you're constantly arguing with the other side of the team. Who's the other side of the team? The other parent. The other parent. What you do is you say, I'm gonna be team one, team of I, and I'm not gonna include. It took two people to make that child, and you cut that team in half by saying, I'm going to do everything by myself. Once you do that, you are now responsible for the circular foundation. That's why it's important to have that father in the home. That's why it's important to have that mother in the home. And if they can't be in the home, that's why it's important to co-parent. You can't co-parent being vindictive. You can't co-parent being vindictive. You can't co-parent sabotages and manipulating situations. You gotta be positive structured. Talk to me, bro.
Yeah, just like you said, team one, team two. I mean, we're on the same team. We're on the same court. We're on the same football field. I mean, we may not get along, but when it come down to push and shove, you're my teammate. I'm gonna pass you the ball. I'm gonna throw you the ball. I'm kick you the ball, whatever it is. And we gotta make things right, and we gotta make sure that the kids are being around positive people, positive influence, and we call out destructive behavior. And you have to check where you're putting your kids to babysit, daycare, teachers, any kind of involvement that has to do with your son or daughter. You have to check them. You have to uh, continually go up to the school and talk to the teacher. Go to those parent teacher conferences and talk to the teacher directly. Make sure you know who's teaching your teachers, your child. And the same thing about who your friends is. Make sure they're not drinking, make sure they're not smoking around your kids. You know, that's what I was saying. You have to be accountable in that sense as well, of who you're bringing around, and also who your partner, who your baby mama or baby dad is bringing around too. Because if you have my son, you have my daughter, and your friend like to drink and smoke, I don't want my son or daughter in that situation, point blank. And that's toxic. That's toxic. That's toxic, and I don't co-sign with that.
So let me break something. Let me say something real quick, man, before I go, bro. Um, of course we have friends that drink and smoke. I'm saying, um, because some people don't see that as a problem. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
I'm not saying having those people around drinking and smoking is an issue. What I'm saying is that you need to be mindful of what you encourage your kids with. So if that's something where everybody's doing it all the time, then that may be an influencer on your child. So you got to think about the influences that you set in front of your kid and what they're seeing on a daily basis. But what I'll say is, before I leave, is that your child that's growing up, from a baby all the way up to an adult, has so many things that they're going to face in life. They shouldn't have to face their parents. They shouldn't have to deal with choosing a side. They shouldn't have to deal with mom don't like dad, dad don't like mom. Do not put that stress on that kid. Do not put that stress on that kid. But I will say this. Ladies and gentlemen, you can manipulate your child but for so long before they get out here into the world and they find out what you were doing. They find out what you were doing. And I don't care how many Nikes, PlayStations, whatever it is that you gave them to blind them from the actual facts and the truth. They are going to have a goddamn hissy fit and they're going to hold you accountable. So before you feel like I can keep that other person's kid's life and all I have to do is keep on buying them stuff and blinding them, they're going to learn the truth. And when they learn the truth, they're going to hold you responsible. I don't care if you're a man or you're a woman, because it works both ways and it can go either way. So again, this is not about bashing women. It's not about bashing men. This is about addressing adults. And if you're an adult, you should be held responsible. If you need child support to be put in play, then make it reasonable. Making it reasonable. If you're going to be there, every other day, picking up your kid or whatever case to be, you shouldn't be getting $5,000 in child support. Be smart about what it is that you do. Brother, I appreciate you letting me be on your platform. It's always a pleasure. Make sure you get at me too, bro, because we definitely need it. You be having some great posts, man. Holla at me. If you don't know who it is, you know what it is. Mr. KTU 101, I'm going to holla at y'all. I appreciate you.
All right, brother. Thank you for coming. I have your stuff in my post. I have all your links and stuff like that. But yeah, though, like I said, just to close it out, we just got to do a better job as far as child support is concerned. Like I said, we're teammates. We may not get along, but I don't feel like you should bash the other parent. Mama, she ain't nothing. Just allow your kids to grow and develop. And let them grow up healthy and let them decide if they want to deal with the other parent. But it shouldn't be no bashing back and forth. Oh, hey, mama, she this, she that. Nah. You wanna talk to your mom. Here's the phone. You call her up, see what's up. Especially if the dad or mother is not available. I'm not gonna bash you. I'm gonna just have you pick the phone up and then have you see why he or she's not involved in the child's life. I'm not gonna say anything bad because that's not the type of man I am. That's not the type of man I was raised to be. I'm not gonna talk bad on nobody. I'm like I said, I'm gonna have you pick up the phone. You call him, you see what's up, and you ask him, or her, why they're not available, and you make the decision if you want to be bothered with him or she, do I really want to be bothered him or she? Why was you not there? Those are questions you need to ask over lunch, dinner, face to face, and you decide, do I want to deal with this man or woman or not? But though. I just want to close it out. Feel free to like, share, subscribe. I'm gonna have Mario information at the top of the video, so check him out. It's a pleasure always to link up with him. A good brother, a good positive brother. And thank you all, everybody. Y'all have a blessed day. Peace.